Could you do it again?
I'm not sure I understand what I'm asking.
Oh, well, fish.
Well, the cave people there are sort of like chained to the wall, and they've got some sort of a image of what they think the truth is. However, if they come unbounded,
Okay.
that's what
Okay.
that process is. Okay, I have
Okay.
a dream.
I'll see if I can fill it in.
Okay.
All right. Let us assume then we now have some candidates for our multimedia virtual reality show. Right? That means they have already been screened and tested in such a way that their most basic beliefs can be identified. These are their beliefs, all right? We can identify the basic beliefs that block their own spiritual progress. These are the kind of beliefs I'm talking about. They are beliefs about themselves, depreciatory views of themselves, a insufficient view of the nature of reality, and correspondingly a view of the world, their everyday world, that diminishes its value. If we could find not only these beliefs, but find from analysis where they came from, how these people were influenced, because what's interesting about a belief is no one picks up a belief in general and always picks up a belief from a particular circumstance. So that if you could then identify these beliefs the subject has and get some insight into how they came to those conclusions, that's not enough, by the way, for them to get rid of it. All right. Then, wouldn't it be interesting, let us say this is their uncle, who when they were very open and susceptible and most receptive, the uncle then introduced and persuaded them of the truth of one of these beliefs. Therefore, when we have the virtual reality show, we'll have the uncle walking back and forth from photographs, right? And the object on the head, whatever it's going to be, is going to be the caricature of that belief, which is then going to be thrown, therefore, on the screen. It's going to be, they're going to see their belief in caricature. All of their primary beliefs, all of their false beliefs about the nature of themselves that is false, about ultimate reality, and about the world about us. Then, according to the story then, they take this to be real. They would then be allowed to stay in it and to see it, experience it, and they would be experienced to a great extent their world as they believe it to be. Then someone then has to come down into the cave and free them of their fetters, force them to stand, and look at the source of those ideas, the uncle. So they have to now give an account of what was it about it that made those ideas believable to them. They have to now address the most difficult question of all, which is, how were those beliefs made so believable that the subject believed them? Therefore, by questioning through this process, all right, so that they can then see the effect of those beliefs on the wall of the cave, on the fact that they're produced by these people that they believed, and the fire behind, which is casts the flames, is sincerity. They appeared so believable because they appeared so sincere, so beautiful, so knowing, and they have to see that's really what causes them to believe the beliefs. They're going to go through quite a few shocks as they see each one of these beliefs characterized in this way. And therefore they must now be led to train their mind in a new way. That's up the steep ascent. That means now we're now going to have to introduce them to the arts, what Plato calls the arts, or the ways of understanding, which is the spiritual way of understanding music, gymnastics, arithmetic, geometry, solid geometry, harmonics, astronomy, and dialectic. So that would have to be now built into the show. Now each one of these things I just mentioned has there are two ways of understanding each one of them, a spiritual way and a popular way, as he points out, and he's always taking the higher. All right. Therefore, these people and the subjects now are going to have to be then flashed, the reality of these things are going to have to be flashed through them through this virtual reality. as an example. Music in Plato is the ability to be able to judge different states of mind that people have. Why is that important? See, because previously they believed someone who didn't know the truth but appeared as if they did know the truth. They appeared as a knower when they really didn't know the reality. They appeared to be sincere, but they weren't really sincere. Therefore, one of the problems is they lack the ability to judge different states of mind. So part of this training now is going to be, quickly through virtual reality, how to spot people who are to various degrees phonies, to various degrees of sincerity. So that would be music. All right. Arithmetic, to deal with the philosophical question of what, after all, is the nature of the one. So each one of the studies in Plato would have to have its corresponding experience in the virtual world of reality. And therefore, when they reach the upper world at night, they then have to experience what it's like in the upper world at night, and then in the day, so they see the true sun in its own place, the most brilliant light of being. Each one of these things can be, in principle, be worked out. No reason why it can't be done.
Is the true world at night a dream?
When he gets up, the difficulty is that the person has to be prepared for the experience. Therefore, they then have to see these realities in reflected surfaces when they're in the upper world, which is similar to the very structure in the cave. Only here they believe it to be true. Here they have to be taught that these things do reflect an ultimate reality. So this is a training so that they get the first glimpse of what they are then going to experience most directly. So therefore we'd have to have a very beautiful shiny lake where the very images of the things we want to persuade them of being higher and a greater reality would have to be shown in it. It would have to have all the aesthetic qualities. So then the reality of those then can be presented in a much richer way.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do more.
When you mentioned the music would help people discern what kind of characters people have.
Yeah. Oh, you'd need some really good music, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Behind all of this? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it would be a kind of Disneyland of the mind instead of for entertainment. And I think that's where I see our youth going. That's where I see people going into multimedia and ultimate, virtual reality.
Sure, they can make up all kinds of games, how to talk to your parents, sitting around and discussing the
How to talk to the uncle, how to talk to the parent, how to talk to the sister, whatever it is that convinced them of whatever it was those beliefs were. Yeah, that's right. Right.
Just for the Saturdays, like Net Day 96, it's for all the high schools, or people are trying to hook the high schools up to the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working with this one school group, and they hooked up about 50 computers in classrooms, and they've got them all tied into a server. And various teachers, math, science, and biology, what they're doing right now is, where they're at right now is they're working on a staircase. They're trying to create CD-ROM, various educational aids.
Yeah.
They haven't yet plugged into the psychological side of it.
Yeah, that's right.
But that probably will come.
That has to come. Yeah. And there are a lot of things you could include in it, like you could be able to test people with a variety of measures and physiological measures and GST, galvanic skin responses, and all kinds of things. You could have all kinds of readings that parallel it. Yeah.
Actually, you probably have on a CD-ROM.
Yeah.
Probably regress people back to their significant moments.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
This could also be used as a form of thought control too.
Every technology